Chappie, stylized as Chappie, is a 2015 American dystopian science fiction action film directed by Neill Blomkamp and written by Blomkamp and Terry Patel. It stars Sharlto Copley, Patel, Hugh Jackman, Ninja, Yolandi Visser, Jose Pablo Cantillo, and Sigourney Weaver. The film, set and shot in Johannesburg, is about an artificial general intelligence law enforcement robot captured and taught by gangsters, who nickname it Chappie. Chappie premiered in New York City on March 4, 2015, and was released in U.S. cinemas on March 6, 2015. The film grossed $102 million worldwide against a $49 million budget, and received mixed reviews from critics. Plot: a skyrocketing crime rate leads the dystopian city of Johannesburg, South Africa to buy a squadron of Scout state-of-the-art armor-plated attack robots from weapons manufacturer Tetraval. These autonomous androids were developed by British scientist Dion Wilson and largely supplant the overwhelmed human police force. A competing project within Tetraval is the remote-controlled heavy weapons platform Moose, developed by Australian soldier-turned-engineer Vincent Moore. Dion is praised for Tetraval's success, but Vincent grows envious when the police will not give his project equal attention. At home, Dion creates a prototype artificial intelligence that mimics a human mind, feeling emotions, and having opinions, but Tetraval CEO Michelle Bradley refuses to permit testing the AI on a police robot. Undeterred, he takes a recently damaged one before it is destroyed, putting it in his van, along with the guard key needed to update its software. Heading home with the damaged robot, Dion is kidnapped by gang members Ninja, Yolandi, and America. When he explains Tetraval does not have remote controls for the police robots, they order him to reprogram it instead. Dion installs the new software into the damaged robot, which then responds with childlike trepidation upon powering up. Dion and Yolandi calm it, teach it words, and name it Chappie. Despite Dion wanting to stay with Chappie, Ninja forces him out of their hideout. Ninja's gang only has a few days to pay a debt of 20 million rand to Hippo. Yolandi sees Chappie as a child and wants to mother him, but Ninja grows impatient with his development due to both the impending deadline for the debt and Chappie's irreplaceable battery running out, giving him days to live. Ninja leaves Chappie in a dangerous neighborhood to fend for himself to train him to become a gangster. After being wounded by thugs, he is followed by Vincent, who plans to deactivate all Tetraval scouts except for Moose. Vincent successfully extracts the guard key for his own use, but the traumatized Chappie escapes and returns to the hideout. Yolandi scolds Ninja for this mistreatment, but he earns Chappie's forgiveness by training him in martial arts and weapon handling. Ninja and America trick Chappie into stealing cars, and lie about getting the money to replace his dying body. At Tetraval, Vincent uses the guard key to upload a virus, thus sabotaging and disabling all scouts including Chappie. Johannesburg's criminals immediately run rampant in the streets and Dion brings Chappie to the Tetraval factory to fix him. After being restarted, Chappie notices a helmet used to control Moose. At the hideout, he re-engineers it to transfer his consciousness into a computer, so he can change bodies when his current one dies. Ninja's gang uses Chappie to rob an armored car, which is caught on the news, prompting Tetraval to pursue him. When Chappie learns that Ninja's plan to acquire the body is a lie, he prepares to kill Ninja for betrayal. However, Dion arrives to warn them that Bradley has ordered that Chappie be destroyed. At that moment, the Moose robot, controlled remotely by Vincent, is launched to assassinate Dion and Chappie at the hideout, simultaneously as Hippo arrives to collect his debt. America and Hippo are killed in the ensuing battle while Dion is mortally wounded. When Ninja is about to be killed, Yolandi sacrifices herself to save him, and Chappie destroys Moose with a bomb. Enraged by Yolandi's death, Chappie drives Dion to the factory, storms into an office, and fiercely beats Vincent close to death. He then transfers the dying Dion's consciousness into a spare robot through the modified Moose helmet. In return, The now robotic Dion wirelessly transfers Chappie's consciousness into one of the nearby disabled scouts. Dion and Chappie go into hiding as the police discontinue their contract with Tetraval, while it is implied that Vincent, assuming he survived, now faces serious criminal charges. While burning memorabilia of Yolandi, the grieving ninja finds a box containing a doll copy of her and a flash drive marked Mommy's Consciousness Test Backup, which contains a copy of Yolandi's consciousness that Chappie took while testing the device on her. Chappie hacks into Tetraval's manufacturing facility, builds a robot resembling Yolandi, and uploads the flash drive's contents. Cast: Sharlto Copley as Chappie, a robot. Copley acted out the scenes in front of the camera, interacting with the rest of the cast and lending his voice. Contrary to a 2014 story by Entertainment Weekly, 5 visual effects supervisor Chris Harvey explained that the production did not use motion capture, and Copley's performance was used only as a reference by the animators who replaced him with the CGI for Chappie. 6. Copley also makes a cameo at the end as a police officer. Patel as Dion Wilson. 5. A programmer at Tetraval. Hugh Jackman. 7. As Vincent Moore, a former soldier turned Tetraval engineer. Ninja as Ninja. 5. A gang leader and metafictional version of himself from the South African Zefrap rave group Die Antwoord. Yolandi Visser as Yolandi. 5. A gang member and metafictional version of herself from the South African Zefrap rave group Die Antwoord. Jose Pablo Cantillo as America, a gang member. Sigourney Weaver. 8. As Michelle Bradley, the CEO of Tetraval. Brandon Orrit as Hippo, a powerful gangster to whom Ninja's group owes money. Anderson Cooper as himself. Eugene Wayangwe Kumbanyu as King. Production: Chappie is Blomkamp's third feature-length film as director. He wrote the screenplay along with his wife Terry Tachel, who also co-wrote District 9. It was unofficially based on Blomkamp's 2004 short film Tetraval. 9. They wrote Chappie in 2 weeks, while Blomkamp was doing Elysium. 10. Filming began at the end of October 2013 in Johannesburg, South Africa. 11. 12. One scene was shot at the Pate building. 13. Filming was completed in February 2014. 14. Reshooting for the film took place in British Columbia, Canada in April 2014. 15. The film was shot with Red Epic cameras, using Panavision anamorphic primes. 16. Richard Muller said, Panavision jumped in with 4 brand new PVM-1741A OLED monitors, as well as a PVM-2541A for more critical evaluation work in the DIT van. Jacques MacDonald from NLE managed to get film light on board by adding a prototype of the flip. It was technically a 4-camera show, not counting the 6 GoPros, 2 Sony X3S, flip, Canon 5D on a drone, and the Sony HDC 1500 in the Cineflex, which sometimes all played at the same time. The flip would handle at most 2 cameras, so we had to supplement that using Pomfret Live Grade running through several Blackmagic HD links. 17. Lighting was handled by Kino Flow Celebs. 13. The visual effects company was Image Engine, located in Vancouver. 16. The name of the weapons company in Chappie, Tetraval, is a reference to Blomkamp's 2003 short film of the same name, which centers on a police robot in Johannesburg with a similar design to Chappie. Blomkamp has said that Chappie is basically based on Tetraval. 18. Blomkamp also employed a robot with a similar design in his 2005 short Tempet, and both Tempet and his 2006 short/advertisement Yellow deal with a thinking and learning robot which tries to assimilate into society. Blomkamp has cited the Appleseed character Briarios as an influence on the design of Chappie. 18. City Press/News 24 reported that 6 of the cast and crew of the film, confirmed under the condition of anonymity that first-time actor Watkin Ninja Jones made life on set hell during filming. 1920. Music. Main article, Chappie, soundtrack. Release. On February 6, 2015, IMAX Corporation and Sony announced that the film would be digitally remastered into the IMAX format and released into IMAX theaters domestically on March 6, 2015. 21 The film was released in the United States on March 6, 2015. 5. Box office. Chappie grossed $31.6 million in North America and $70 million in other territories for a total gross of $102.1 million, against a budget of $49 million. 4. The film earned $4.6 million on its opening day, $5.3 million on its second day, and $3.5 million on its third day, totaling $13.4 million in its opening weekend while playing in 3,201 theaters. It had a $4,155 per theater average and finished first at the box office. 22. Critical response. Review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reported a 32% approval rating, based on 227 reviews, and a rating average of 4.90/10. The website's critical consensus reads, "Chappie boasts more of the big ideas and visual panache that director Neill Blomkamp has become known for, and, sadly, more of the narrative shortcomings." 23. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 41 out of 100, based on 39 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 24 According to CinemaScore, audiences gave the film a grade of B on an A+ to F scale. 25. Justin Chang of Variety wrote, "Intelligence, artificial or otherwise, is one of the major casualties of Chappie, a robot-themed action movie that winds up feeling as clunky and confused as the childlike droid with which it shares its name." 26. Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, "With unappealing one-note characters, retread concepts, and implausible motivations, Chappie is a further downward step for director Neill Blomkamp." 27. Tim Grierson of Screen International wrote, "Despite his ambitions, Chappie is a bucket of bolts, Blomkamp's desire to say meaningful things outdistancing his ability to say them compellingly." 3. Manala Dargis of the New York Times wrote that Blomkamp struggles with the material, but even at his shakiest, Mr. Blomkamp holds your attention. 28. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times called it cartoonish and preposterous, and not in a good way. 29. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle rated it 3 out of 4 stars and wrote of Blomkamp, "It's hard to say how much he's doing consciously and how much he's doing through intuition, but he's doing really interesting things in Chappie, and right from the beginning." 30. Tom Huddleston of Time Out London rated it 4 out of 5 stars and wrote that this hugely entertaining oddity could never be mistaken for the work of any other filmmaker. 31. Ryan Lambie, from Den of Geek, gave the film a positive review stating, "Despite the ragged edges of its story, Chappie nevertheless has real heart beating under its shabby exterior. If you like the director's previous films, you owe it to yourself to see this one too." 32. IGN reviewer Josh Lasser also gave Chappie a positive review, with a good score of 7.6 out of 10. He praised Sharlto Copley's performance and the big questions it asks, but criticized its failure to answer those questions. 33. Several reviewers compared the Chappie character unfavorably to Jar Jar Binks of Star Wars. 34. Samin Amer of the Express Tribune opined that the film disregards logic as certain existential quandaries are randomly thrown in without straightening out any of the themes before moving on to the next. Sharlto Copley is a South African actor. His acting credits include lead roles in the Academy Award-nominated science fiction film District 9, the 2010 adaptation of The A-Team, the science fiction film Elysium, the science fiction horror film Europa Report, the 2014 dark fantasy adventure film Maleficent, and the 2022 thriller Beast. He also played the title character in the 2015 science fiction film Chappie, Jimmy in the 2015 science fiction action film Hardcore Henry, and starred in 2 seasons as Christian Walker of the TV series Powers, 2015-16. In 2025 he played Leo Bonhart in Season 4 of the Netflix TV series The Witcher. Early life and education. Sharlto Copley was born in Johannesburg, South Africa. He attended St. Andrew's Preparatory School in Makanda and then Redhill School in Morningside, Johannesburg. His father, Bruce Copley, was formerly a university professor. 2 His brother, Donovan was the lead singer of the Cape Town band Hot Water. 3, 4, 5. Career. Soon after leaving high school, Copley met Neill Blomkamp, who is 6 years younger. Copley allowed Blomkamp to use computers at his production company to help the company pitch various projects and allow Blomkamp to pursue his passion and talent for 3D animation and design. 6. In Blomkamp's District 9, 2009, Copley played the lead role of Wikus van der Merwe 7, an Afrikaner bureaucrat assigned to move a race of extraterrestrial creatures stranded on Earth. In the film, the aliens, popularly and derogatorily referred to as prawns, must be moved from District 9, a military-guarded slum in Johannesburg, South Africa, to an internment camp outside the city. Copley improvised all of his dialogue. 8 At the 2009 IGN Summer Movie Awards, Copley won Favorite Hero 9 and Best Performance. 10. In 2010, Copley produced, wrote, and directed an insert for the South African Film and Television Awards called Wikus and Charlize, featuring fellow South African star Charlize Theron. The clip features Copley as Wikus attempting to track down Charlize Theron in Hollywood to help him present the award for Best Afrikaans Pop Album. 11. Copley then starred alongside Liam Neeson, Bradley Cooper, and Quentin Rampage Jackson in the feature film adaptation of the A-Team 12, which was produced by Ridley Scott and Tony Scott. Copley used a Southern American dialect for his portrayal of A-Team member H.M. Murdoch, and employed other dialects, including Scottish, English, Australian, and Swahili, as part of the character's rapid-fire style. Dwight Schultz, who played Murdoch in the original TV series, praised Copley's performance and said Copley was the only actor he knew of who was true to his character. 13. Copley guest co-hosted WWE Raw on June 7, 2010, along with his A-Team co-stars Cooper and Jackson. In 2013, Copley played fictional astronaut James Corrigan in Europa Report, the story of a crew of international astronauts sent on a private mission to Jupiter's fourth moon. The same year, Copley portrayed the villain Agent Kruger in Elysium 14, a science fiction film written and directed by Blomkamp, starring Matt Damon and Jodie Foster. 15. Copley played villain Adrian Price in Spike Lee's Old Boy, a remake of the 2003 South Korean film of the same name. 16. He also starred opposite Angelina Jolie in the 2014 Disney film Maleficent and played King Stefan, Princess Aurora's father. He also provided the voice, reference work, and interaction with the cast as Chappie, the titular character of the 2015 film Chappie, also directed by Neill Blomkamp. 17. In 2015, Copley was announced to star as Christian Walker in the superhero TV series Powers. 18. He later provided the voiceover for the e-tron GT concept promotional video by Audi Sport GmbH. 19. Also in 2015, Copley played the supporting character Jimmy in the film Hardcore Henry. 20. In March 2018, Copley starred in the crime comedy film Gringo as Mitch Rusk. 21. Copley portrayed the titular character of a biographical film about Ted Kaczynski titled Ted K in 2021. 22. In 2022 he starred in the American thriller Beast 23 and guest starred in the TV series Russian Doll. Citation needed. In 2024 he guest starred in Season 12 of Curb Your Enthusiasm, 2024, citation needed, and in 2025 played Leo Bonhart in Season 4 of the Netflix TV series The Witcher. 24. Personal life. Copley started dating actress and model Tanit Phoenix in January 2012. 25. They wed on February 15, 2016, in Cape Town. 26-27 The couple have a daughter. He filed for divorce in June 2023, after the couple had lived apart since October 30, 2021. Dev Patel, Dev Patel /1 born April 23, 1990, is a British actor and filmmaker. His accolades include a British Academy Film Award, in addition to nominations for an Academy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards. Patel was included in Time's list of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2024. Patel began his career playing Anwar Karal in the E14 drama Skins, 2007. His breakthrough role in Danny Boyle's drama Slumdog Millionaire, 2008, earned Patel a nomination for the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. 3. His career expanded with leading roles in the comedy dramas The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, 2011, and The Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, 2015, the science fiction thriller Chappie, 2015, and a supporting role in the HBO series The Newsroom, 2012-2014. For his performance as Saroo Brearley in the drama Lion, 2016, Patel won both the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, AACTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, and was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He subsequently starred in the independent films Hotel Mumbai, 2018, The Personal History of David Copperfield, 2019, and The Green Knight, 2021, and made his directorial debut with the action film Monkey Man, 2024. Early life and background. Dev Patel was born on April 23, 1990 in Harrow, northwest London to Indian parents, Anita Patel, a care worker, and Raju Patel, an IT consultant. 6-7 His parents are Gujaratis. 8 Though they were both born in Nairobi in British Kenya, where there is a significant Indian diaspora. They immigrated to the United Kingdom separately in their teens, and first met in London. 6-9 Patel was raised in the Hindu faith. 10 He speaks some Gujarati. 11 His ancestors came from Jamnagar and Anja in Gujarat. 12. As a child, Patel was a fan of action movies after he snuck downstairs and saw scenes from a Bruce Lee film on his parents' TV set. 13 Patel grew up in the Rayners Lane district of Harrow and attended Longfield Primary School and Whitmore High School. Patel had his first acting role as Sir Andrew Aguichik in the school's production of Twelfth Night. 6 At Whitmore High, he received an A** in GCSE drama for his self-penned portrayal of a child in the Beslan school siege. His drama teacher Nehemiah Wright said, "Dev was a gifted student, who quickly impressed me with his innate ability to communicate a wide variety of characters imaginatively and creatively." He was awarded full marks for his GCSE performance to a live audience, and the visiting examiner was moved to tears by his honest portrayal. 14. He completed his A-levels in PE, Biology, History, and Drama in 2007 at Whitmore High School while working on Skins. Patel said that he was bloody energetic as a child, and used to get in trouble because of it. He started training at the Rayners Lane Academy of Taekwondo in 2000. 15 He competed regularly in both national and international championships, including the 2004 AMA, Action International Martial Arts Association, World Championships in Dublin, where he won a bronze medal. 9/16/17 The World Championships took place in October 2004, when he competed as a red belt in the junior division against other red and black belts. He made it to the semi-finals, where he lost to an Irish black belt, named Niall Fitzmaurice, in a very close and tough fight, and ended up winning a bronze medal. 16 Later, in March 2006, he earned a first Dan black belt. 18. Career 2006 to 2007, early work. In 2006, Patel's professional acting career began when he auditioned for the E14 drama television series Skins. His mother saw the casting advertisement in Metro and took him to the audition, even though he had a science exam the next day. 6/19 After 2 auditions, He was cast in the role of Anwar Karal, a British Pakistani Muslim teenager. 6. The characterization of Anwar was partly based on Patel's own personality, as the role was developed specifically for him once he was cast in Skins. 20. With no prior professional acting experience, recalled that, on the first day of shooting, I didn't really know what to do. 6. The first series of the show aired in January 2007 and went on to win the Rose d'Or for Drama in 2008 and receive a nomination for Best Drama Series at the 2008 BAFTA Television Awards. 21-22 Patel reprised his role as Anwar for the second series of Skins, which aired in February 2008. The second series of Skins won the Phillips Audience Award at the 2009 BAFTA Television Awards. 23. 2008 to 2010, breakthrough and critical acclaim. Patel in 2008. Patel made his feature film debut when he was cast in the role of Jamal Malik, the central character in Danny Boyle's film Slumdog Millionaire. 24. The Jamal Malik character is an Indian Muslim boy born and brought up in the poverty of Bombay, India. 25. Boyle considered hundreds of young male actors, but found that Bollywood leads were generally strong, handsome hero types, not the personality he was looking for. 26. Boyle's 17-year-old daughter Caitlin pointed him to Skins. 26-27. After 5 auditions for the role, 28 Patel was eventually cast in August 2007. 29 The film's producer found the original choice for the lead role, Ruslan Mumtaz, too good looking for the role. 30 Boyle said, I wanted a guy who didn't look like a potential hero, I wanted him to earn that in the film. 6. To prepare for the role, Patel went along with Boyle while scouting for filming locations, where he was able to observe the Dharavi slums for himself. He also worked at a call center for a day and in a hotel, where he washed dishes. 31-32. After the release of Slumdog Millionaire at the end of 2008, Patel went on to receive a number of awards for his performance, including a British Independent Film Award 33 National Board of Review, NBR, Award 34 Chicago Film Critics Association Award 35 and 2 Black Reel Awards for Best Actor and Best Breakthrough Performance. 36 Patel was also nominated for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role at the 2009 Screen Actors Guild, SAG, Awards. The award eventually went posthumously to Heath Ledger for his performance in The Dark Knight, though Patel did win the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, which he shared with 10 other cast members from Slumdog Millionaire. 37-38 On January 8, 2009, Patel won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Young Performer. 39 He was also nominated for 2 London Critics' Circle Film Awards. 40 The NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor. 41 The 2009 BAFTA Award for Best Leading Actor. 42 and European Film Award for Best Actor. 43 The film itself won 4 Golden Globes, 42 including Best Drama Film, and 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. 44 Patel at the 2011 Toronto International Film Festival. Patel played Zuko in M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, a feature film adaptation of the animated series Avatar, The Last Airbender 45-46-47, which was released on July 1, 2010 to extremely negative reviews. Despite being a commercial success, the film was a critical failure, and Patel even received a Razzie Award nomination as Worst Supporting Actor that year, although his role was well received, and was considered by many to be one of the film's positive aspects. 48. Patel later starred in the short film The Commuter 49, which was directed by McHenry Brothers to promote the Nokia N8 smartphone in the UK. 50 fans who won a Nokia UK Run competition starred alongside Dev Patel in the short film. 51-52. 2011 to 2020, established actor. Patel co-starred in the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, 2012, and subsequently in its 2015 sequel, The Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, directed by John Madden, which received positive reviews 53 and was a box office success, grossing $136 million. 54 For the role, he had to take lessons in perfecting an Indian English accent. 55. From 2012 to 2014, Patel had a supporting role in the 2012 HBO television series The Newsroom as Neill Blomkamp, blogger for news anchor Will McAvoy. 56 He also appeared alongside James Franco and Heather Graham in About Cherry, which premiered at the 2012 Berlin International Film Festival. In 2014, Patel starred alongside Robert Sheehan and Zoe Kravitz in the film, The Road Within, about three unlikely friends with various disabilities who go on a road trip. The film received generally mixed reviews. Variety had positive words for the bristling and committed performances by Robert Sheehan, Dev Patel, and Zoe Kravitz, while noting that there remains a nagging tidiness to the whole endeavor that leaves a strained, cloying aftertaste that kept the movie from truly succeeding. 57. In 2015, Patel acted in Chappie as an engineer who helps design police robots and as the mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan in the biopic The Man Who Knew Infinity. In 2016, Patel starred as Saru Brearley in the biographical film Lion, directed by Garth Davis and co-starring Nicole Kidman and Rooney Mara, which premiered to rave reviews and Oscar buzz at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. 58, 59, 60, 61 The film is based on Brearley's memoir A Long Way Home. 62 Patel was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for his role at the 70th British Academy Film Awards and the 89th Academy Awards, winning at the former. He is the third actor of Indian descent to receive an Oscar nomination. 63-64. In 2018, Patel starred in the action thriller Hotel Mumbai and The Wedding Guest. In 2019, Patel starred as the titular character in Armando Iannucci's adaptation of Charles Dickens' The Personal History of David Copperfield, for which he received a nomination for the 2021 Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy. 65-66 He also returned to television in an episode of the Amazon Prime anthology Modern Love, for which he received an Emmy nomination. 2020, present, expansion into directing. In 2021, Patel starred in The Green Knight, based on Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, directed by David Lowery. 67-68 In April of that year, he signed a deal to produce, develop, and create projects with Shiv Hans Pictures. 69 Towards the end of 2021, Patel established his own production company, Minor Realm. 70 In 2023, Patel appeared in Wes Anderson's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, an adaptation of a short story by Roald Dahl, starring opposite Benedict Cumberbatch, Ralph Fiennes, and Ben Kingsley. 71. Patel at the South by Southwest Festival, South by Southwest, 2024. Patel made his directorial debut with the 2024 action thriller film Monkey Man, as announced in 2018. In addition to directing, Patel stars in the film, and is credited as a co-writer and producer. 72-73 The film was initially set to be distributed by Netflix. 74 But Jordan Peele, having seen the film, felt that it deserved a theatrical release instead, so he acquired it from Netflix under his Monkeypaw Productions banner. 75 Monkey Man had its world premiere at South by Southwest on March 11, 2024. 76 It had its Sydney premiere on 2 April 2024. 77 and was released in Australian cinemas on April 4, 2024. 78 It was released by Universal Pictures in the US on April 5, 2024. 76. Patel will executive produce and star in the Miramax miniseries The Key Man as disgraced businessman Arif Naqvi. 79 and was initially set to join Olivia Colman in Wicker before dropping out. 80. Personal life. Patel began dating his Slumdog Millionaire co-star Frida Pinto in 2009. 81 On December 10, 2014, the couple announced that they had split after nearly 6 years of dating. 82 In March 2017, Patel's relationship with Australian actress Tilda Cobham Hervey became public. They met 9 months earlier on the set of Hotel Mumbai. 83 In April 2022 they moved to Cobham Hervey's hometown, Adelaide. 84 The couple posed for photographs together for the first time on the red carpet at the Los Angeles premiere of Patel's debut feature as a director, Monkey Man, on April 2, 2024. 85. In August 2022, Patel featured in the local news after he broke up a fight in Gouger Street in Adelaide city centre. 86 Hugh Michael Jackman, born October 12, 1968, is an Australian actor, singer, and producer. Beginning in theatre and television, Jackman landed his breakthrough role as Wolverine, playing it across the X-Men film franchise and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe from X-Men, 2000, to Deadpool and Wolverine, 2024. Prominent on both screen and stage, he has received various accolades, including a Primetime Emmy Award, a Grammy Award and 2 Tony Awards, along with nominations for an Academy Award and a British Academy Film Award. Jackman was appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in 2019. Jackman has headlined films in various genres, including the romantic comedy Kate and Leopold, 2001, the action horror Van Helsing, 2004, the drama The Prestige, 2006, the period romance Australia, 2008, the science fiction Real Steel, 2011, the musical Les Miserables, 2012, the thriller Prisoners, 2013, the musical The Greatest Showman, 2017, the political drama The Front Runner, 2018, and the crime drama Bad Education, 2019. For his role as Jean Valjean in Les Miserables, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor and won a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, and for The Greatest Showman soundtrack, Jackman received a Grammy Award for Best Compilation Soundtrack. He also provided voice roles in the animated films Flushed Away, Happy Feet, both 2006, Rise of the Guardians, 2012, and Missing Link, 2019. Jackman is also known for his early theatre roles in the original Australian productions of Beauty and the Beast as Gaston in 1995 and Sunset Boulevard as Joe Gillis in 1996. He earned a Laurence Olivier Award nomination for his performance as Curly McLean in the West End revival of Oklahoma. In 1998. In 2002, he made his American stage debut in a concert of Carousel as Billy Bigelow at Carnegie Hall. On Broadway, he won the 2004 Tony Award and Drama Desk Award for Best Actor in a Musical for his role of Peter Allen in The Boy from Oz. From 2021 to 2023, Jackman starred as con man Harold Hill in the Broadway revival of the musical The Music Man, earning another Tony Award nomination. A 4-time host of the Tony Awards, he won an Emmy Award for hosting the 2005 ceremony. He also hosted the 81st Academy Awards in 2009. Early life. Jackman was born in Sydney, New South Wales, to English parents Grace McNeil, née Greenwood, and Christopher John Jackman, 1936 to 2021, to a Cambridge-educated accountant. 3. His parents moved to Australia in 1967 as part of the £10 Palms immigration scheme. 4. Thus, in addition to his Australian citizenship, Jackman holds British citizenship by virtue of being born to UK-born parents. 5. 1 of his paternal great-grandfathers, Nicholas Isidore Bellas, was Greek. 7. 8 from the Ottoman Empire, now in Greece. 9. 10 His parents were devout Christians, having been converted by evangelist Billy Graham after their marriage. 4. Jackman has 4 older siblings and was the second of his parents' children to be born in Australia. 11 He also has a younger half-sister, from his mother's remarriage. 12 His parents divorced when he was 8, and Jackman remained in Australia with his father and 2 brothers, while his mother moved back to England with Jackman's 2 sisters. 4. 13-14 As a child, Jackman liked the outdoors, spending much time at the beach and on camping trips and school holidays all over Australia. He wanted to see the world, saying, "I used to spend nights looking at atlases. I decided I wanted to be a chef on a plane. Because I'd been on a plane and there was food on board, I presumed there was a chef. I thought that would be an ideal job." 15. Jackman went to primary school at Pymble Public School and later attended the all-boys Knox Grammar School on Sydney's Upper North Shore, where he starred in its production of My Fair Lady in 1985 and became the school captain in 1986. 16. He spent a gap year in 1987-17 working at Uppingham School in England as a physical education teacher. 18-19. On his return, he studied at the University of Technology Sydney, graduating in 1991 with a BA in Communications. 20. In his final year of university, he took a drama course to make up additional credits. The class did Václav Havel's The Memorandum with Jackman as the lead. 11. He later commented, "In that week I felt more at home with those people than I did in the entire 3 years at university." 21. After obtaining his BA, Jackman completed the one-year course The Journey at the Actors Centre in Sydney. 11. About studying acting full-time, he stated, "It wasn't until I was 22 that I ever thought about my hobby being something I could make a living out of. As a boy, I'd always had an interest in theatre. But the idea at my school was that drama and music were to round out the man. It wasn't what one did for a living. I got over that. I found the courage to stand up and say, I want to do it. 22. After completing The Journey, he was offered a role on the popular soap opera Neighbours but turned it down. 23. To attend the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts of Edith Cowan University in Perth, Western Australia, from which he graduated in 1994. 24. Jackman has said he always loved acting, but when I started at drama school I was like the dunce of the class. It just wasn't coming right to me. Everyone was cooler, everyone seemed more likely to succeed, everyone seemed more natural at it, and in retrospect, I think that is good. I think it is good to come from behind as an actor. I think it is good to go into an audition thinking, man, I've got to be at my best to get this gig." 25. Career. 1995 to 1999, early career in theater. On the night of his final Academy graduation performance, Jackman received a phone call offering him a role on Corelli. I was technically unemployed for 13 seconds. Corelli, devised by Australian actress Denise Roberts, was a 10-part drama series on ABC, Jackman's first major professional job, and where he met his future wife Deborah Lee Furness. Jackman stated that meeting my wife was the greatest thing to come out of it. 22. The show lasted only one season. After Corelli, Jackman went on the stage in Melbourne. In 1996, Jackman played Gaston in the local Walt Disney production of Beauty and the Beast, and Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard. 11. During his stage musical career in Melbourne, he starred in the 1998 Midsummer Festival cabaret production Summer Cabaret. He also hosted Melbourne's Carols by Candlelight and Sydney's Carols in the Domain. Jackman's early film works include Erskineville Kings and Paperback Hero, 1999, and his television work includes Law of the Land, Halifax FP, Blue Heelers, and Banjo Patterson's The Man from Snowy River. Jackman became known outside Australia in 1998, when he played the leading role of Curly in the Royal National Theatre's acclaimed stage production of Oklahoma, in London's West End. 11. The performance earned him an Olivier Award nomination for Best Actor in a Musical. Jackman said, I totally felt like it can't get any better than this. On some level that production will be one of the highlights of my career. 26. He also starred in the 1999 film version of the same stage musical, which has been screened in many countries. 2000 to 2004, breakthrough with Wolverine and the X-Men. Jackman had his breakthrough role playing Wolverine in Bryan Singer's X-Men, 2000, a superhero film based on the Marvel Comics team of the same name. 27 co-starring Patrick Stewart, James Marsden, Famke Janssen, and Ian McKellen, the film tells the story of a group of mutants, whose superhuman powers make them distrusted by normal humans, but who fight to protect humans from villains. The role was originally written for Russell Crowe, who instead suggested Jackman for the part. 28 Jackman says that his wife advised him against taking on the role, as she found it ridiculous. 29 He initially studied wolves to develop his character, as he thought that Wolverine alluded to wolves. 30 X-Men was successful at the box office, earning $296 million US. 31 The role earned him a Saturn Award for Best Actor. 32 Wolverine was tough for Jackman to portray because he had few lines, but much emotion to convey in them. To prepare, he watched Clint Eastwood in the Dirty Harry movies and Mel Gibson in Mad Max 2. There were guys who had relatively little dialogue, like Wolverine had, but you knew and felt everything. I'm not normally one to copy, but I wanted to see how these guys achieved it. 33 Jackman was adamant about doing his own stunts for the movie. We worked a lot on the movement style of Wolverine, and I studied some martial arts. I watched a lot of Mike Tyson fights, especially his early fights. There's something about his style, the animal rage, that seemed right for Wolverine. I kept saying to the writers, don't give me long, choreographed fights for the sake of it. Don't make the fights pretty. 34 Jackman also had to get used to wearing Wolverine's claws. He said, every day in my living room, I'd just walk around with those claws, to get used to them. I've got scars on one leg, punctures straight through the cheek, on my forehead. I'm a bit clumsy. I'm lucky I didn't tell them that when I auditioned. 15 Jackman signing autographs for The Boy from Oz outside Broadway in 2003. At 6 feet 2 in, 1.88 m, Jackman stands 11 in, 28 centimeters, taller than Wolverine, who is said in the original comic book to be 5 feet 3 in, 1.60 m. 35-36 Hence, the filmmakers were frequently forced to shoot Jackman at unusual angles or only from the waist up to make him appear shorter than he actually is, and his co-stars wore platform soles. Jackman was also required to add a great deal of muscle for the role, and in preparing for the fourth film in the series, he bench pressed over 136 kilograms 300 pounds. 37 Jackman reprised his role in 2003's X2, 2000, and SIX's X-Men, The Last Stand, and the 2009 prequel X-Men Origins, Wolverine, where Troye Sivan played the younger version of James Howlett. He also cameoed as Wolverine in 2011's X-Men, First Class. He returned for the role of Wolverine again in 2013's The Wolverine, a standalone sequel taking place after the events of X-Men, The Last Stand, and reprised the character in the 2014 sequel X-Men, Days of Future Past and briefly in the 2016 follow-up X-Men, Apocalypse. 38 In 2015, Jackman announced that the 2017 sequel to The Wolverine, Logan, was the final time that he would play the role. 39 It earned him the Guinness World Record of longest career as a live-action Marvel superhero, although this record has since been surpassed. 40-41 Jackman starred as Leopold in the 2001 romantic comedy film Kate and Leopold, a role for which he received a Best Actor Golden Globe nomination. 11 Jackman plays a Victorian English duke who accidentally time travels to 21st century Manhattan, where he meets Kate, Meg Ryan, a cynical advertising executive. In 2001, Jackman also starred in the action/drama Swordfish with John Travolta and Halle Berry. This was the second time Jackman worked with Berry, and the two have worked together thrice more in the X-Men movies. He hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live in 2001. In 2002, Jackman sang the role of Billy Bigelow in the musical Carousel in a special concert performance at Carnegie Hall with the Orchestra of St. Luke's. In 2004, Jackman won the Tony Award and the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actor in a Musical for his 2003 to 2004 Broadway portrayal of Australian songwriter and performer Peter Allen in the hit musical The Boy from Oz, which he also performed in Australia in 2006. 11 In addition, Jackman hosted the Tony Awards in 2003, 2004, and 2005, garnering positive reviews. His hosting of the 2004 Tony Awards earned him an Emmy Award for Outstanding Individual Performer in a Variety, Musical, or Comedy Program. After 2003's X2, Jackman played the title role of monster killer Gabriel Van Helsing in the 2004 film Van Helsing. 11 Jackman and the film were noted in Bruce A. McClelland's book Slayers and Their Vampires, A Cultural History of Killing the Dead. 2005 to 2007, Hollywood success. Jackman in New York Harbor in 2006. Jackman was asked to consider taking on the role of James Bond before Daniel Craig was chosen to play the character, but turned it down due to other commitments. Speaking to the British Press Association in 2011, Jackman said, "I was about to shoot X-Men 2 and Wolverine had become this thing in my life and I didn't want to be doing two such iconic characters at once." 42. Alongside Christian Bale, Michael Caine, and Scarlett Johansson, Jackman starred in The Prestige, 2006, a mystery thriller from Christopher Nolan. Jackman portrayed Robert Angier, an aristocratic magician who builds up a rivalry with contemporary Alfred Borden, Bale, in an attempt to one-up each other in the art of deception. After reading the script, Jackman expressed interest in starring in the film, and Nolan believed that the actor had the qualities of the character. 43 Jackman based his portrayal of Angier on 1950s-era American magician Channing Pollock. 44 The Prestige was acclaimed and a box office success. 45-46. Jackman portrayed three different characters in Darren Aronofsky's science fiction film The Fountain. Tommy Creo, a neuroscientist, who is torn between his wife, Izzy, Rachel Weisz, who is dying of a brain tumor, and his work at trying to cure her, Captain Tomás Creo, a Spanish conquistador in 1532 Seville, and a future astronaut, Tom, traveling to a golden nebula in an eco-spacecraft seeking to be reunited with Izzy. Jackman said The Fountain was his most difficult film thus far due to the physical and emotional demands of the part. Citation needed. Jackman also starred in Woody Allen's 2006 film Scoop opposite Scarlett Johansson. That year he also reprised the role of Wolverine in X-Men: The Last Stand. He rounded out 2006 with two animated films, Happy Feet, directed by George Miller, in which he voiced the part of Memphis, an Emperor Penguin, singing Heartbreak Hotel, and Flushed Away, where Jackman supplied the voice of a rat named Roddy who ends up being flushed down a family's toilet into the London sewer system, Jackman's fourth film co-starring with Ian McKellen. Citation needed. In 2007, Jackman produced and guest-starred in the television musical dramedy series Viva Laughlin, which was cancelled by CBS after 2 episodes. 47 In 2007, Jackman became the patron of the Actors Centre Australia where he studied, and remains so. Citation needed. 2008 to 2011, returned to Broadway. Hugh Jackman at the Sydney premiere for Real Steel in September 2011. In 2008, director Baz Luhrmann cast Jackman to replace Russell Crowe as the male lead in his much-publicized epic film, Australia, which co-starred Nicole Kidman. The movie was released in late November 2008 in Australia and the US. Jackman played a tough, independent cattle drover, who reluctantly helps an English noblewoman in her quest to save both her philandering husband's Australian cattle station and the mixed-race Aboriginal child she finds there. Of the movie, Jackman said, "This is pretty much one of those roles that had me pinching myself all the way through the shoot. I got to shoot a big-budget, shamelessly old-fashioned romantic epic set against one of the most turbulent times in my native country's history, while, at the same time, celebrating that country's natural beauty, its people, its cultures. I'll die a happy man knowing I've got this film on my CV. 48. That year, People magazine named Jackman its 2008 Sexiest Man Alive. 49. Jackman co-starred with Daniel Craig on Broadway at the Schoenfeld Theatre in a limited engagement of the play A Steady Rain, which ran from September 10, 2009 to December 6, 2009. 50. Jackman had a one-man show at the Curran Theatre in San Francisco from 3 to 15 May 2011. 51. The production was a mixture of his favorite Broadway and Hollywood musical numbers, backed by a 17-piece orchestra, from shows including Oklahoma and The Boy from Oz. The show had a runtime of approximately 100 minutes, and also included slideshows of Jackman's youth, family, and work, as well as some one-on-one interaction with the audience. Jackman was backed by fellow musical theater veterans Merle Dandridge and Angel Rita. 52-53. He later returned to Broadway in a new show, Hugh Jackman, back on Broadway at the Broadhurst Theatre, which began performances on October 25, 2011 and concluded on January 1, 2012. 54. 2012 to 2018, award success, retiring Wolverine, and film musicals. Jackman at the 2015 San Diego Comic-Con. In a November 2012 release, Jackman voiced the role of E. Aster Bunny Mund, the Easter Bunny, in the animated film Rise of the Guardians 55, while his image was licensed to represent the skullduggery pleasant character Saracen Rue in the spin-off novel Tanith Lo-In. The Maleficent 7, published December 2012. 56. Jackman starred as Jean Valjean in Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, an adaptation of the musical. The film opened on December 25, 2012. 57. 58. 59. For the role, he lost 15 pounds and later had to regain 30 pounds to mirror his character's newfound success. 60. He won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy in January 2013 for this performance and received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. 61. Jackman appeared alongside Kate Winslet in movie 43, an ensemble comedy, in January 2013. 62. Jackman, along with actress Kristen Wiig, was featured on You've Got the Look, a song by comedy hip-hop group The Lonely Island on their third album, The Whack Album, released in June 2013. Jackman returned to Broadway in the new play, The River, which ran at the Circle in the Square Theatre from October 2014 to February 2015. 63. Jackman at the Japanese premiere of his 2017 film, The Greatest Showman. In November and December 2015, Jackman made a national tour of Australia with his show Broadway to Oz. He performed a range of songs from Broadway musicals, from Les Miserables to a Peter Allen tribute, including classics such as I Still Call Australia Home, with his 150-piece orchestra, choir, and backup dancers. 64. The show began at Melbourne's Rod Laver Arena and proceeded to Qantas Credit Union Arena, Brisbane Entertainment Centre, the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and the Perth Arena. Jackman then portrayed the villain Blackbeard in the film Pan, which revolved around the backstories of J.M. Barrie's characters Peter Pan and Captain Hook. The movie received generally negative reviews and was a failure at the box office. 65. In 2016, Jackman played fictional ski coach, Bronson Peary, in Eddie the Eagle 66, which portrayed how Eddie the Eagle Edwards became the first competitor to represent Great Britain in Olympic ski jumping in 1988. 67. Jackman had an uncredited cameo as Wolverine in the 2016 film X-Men, Apocalypse. 68. In 2017, he reprised the character for what was intended to be the final time in the third Wolverine film, Logan. 69. Jackman's performance and the film were critically acclaimed and it is regarded as one of the greatest superhero films of all time. 74. His 17-year spanning long performance as Wolverine, Jackman topped the Hollywood Reporter's greatest superhero movie performances of all time list. 71. That year, He also starred as P.T. Barnum in the musical The Greatest Showman. 72 He received a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy nomination for the film, his third Golden Globe nomination, and also received a Grammy Award for Best Soundtrack Album. 73. In 2018, he starred as American Senator Gary Hart in Jason Reitman's political drama film The Front Runner, which chronicled the rise of Hart as a Democratic presidential candidate in 1988, and his subsequent fall from grace when media reports surfaced of his extramarital affair. In 2019, he voiced the character Sir Lionel Frost in the animated film Missing Link. 2019, present, concert tour, The Music Man and reprising Wolverine. In 2019, Jackman went on his first world tour called The Man, The Music, The Show, to perform songs from the album, The Greatest Showman, original motion picture soundtrack, and Broadway/Hollywood musical numbers. 74 comprising 88 shows, the tour visits North America, Europe, and Oceania. It began in May 2019, in Glasgow, Scotland and concluded in October 2019, in San Antonio, United States. 75 In the 2019 Queen's Birthday Honours, Jackman was appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia for eminent service to the performing arts as an acclaimed actor and performer, and to the global community, particularly as an advocate for poverty eradication. 76-77. Jackman performing during TMT's tour. Jackman starred in the comedy drama Bad Education, 2019, opposite Allison Janney. 78 Jackman and Laura Dern starred in Florian Zeller's film The Sun, adapted from Zeller's own play of the same name. 79-80. He returned to Broadway in a revival of The Music Man, playing Harold Hill, which began previews in December 2021 and played from February 2022 to January 2023. 81 For his performance, Jackman received his second nomination for the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical. 82 The revival received mixed reviews but was a success at the box office. 83. Jackman reprised his role as Wolverine, in Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds, set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 84 It was released on July 26, 2024. 85. About training to reprise his Wolverine role, Jackman said I was thrilled. My body was a little sore at the beginning, but I was thrilled that my body was still responding. And I realized how good it is for your brain. But the hardest bit, the food. I have to eat a lot. For me, for my body type, I'm naturally skinny. To get the size on, that's the hardest bit. That's the bit that does my head in. 86. Other ventures. Production company. In 2005, Jackman joined with longtime assistant John Palermo to form a production company, Seed Productions, whose first project was Viva Laughlin in 2007. Jackman's wife Deborah Lee Furness is also involved in the company, and Palermo had 3 rings made with a unity inscription for himself, Furness, and Jackman. 87 Jackman said, I'm very lucky in the partners I work with in my life, Deb and John Palermo. It really works. We all have different strengths. I love it. It's very exciting. 88. Philanthropy. Jackman is a longtime proponent of microcredit, the extension of very small loans to prospective entrepreneurs in impoverished countries. He is a vocal supporter of Muhammad Yunus, microcredit pioneer, and the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize winner. 89 On April 14, 2009, Jackman posted on his Twitter page that he would donate $100,000 to one individual's favorite nonprofit organization. 90 On April 21, 2009, he revealed his decision to donate $50,000 to Charity Water and $50,000 to Operation of Hope. 91-92. Jackman is a global advisor of the Global Poverty Project, for which he narrated a documentary. 93 Jackman hosted a preview of the Global Poverty Project presentation in New York with Donna Karan, Lisa Fox, and his wife Deborah Lee Furness. 94 Jackman supports the Art of Elysium 95 and the MPTV Fund Foundation 96, and he and Furness are patrons of the Bone Marrow Institute in Australia. 97. In December 2009, during the 21st annual Gypsy of the Year competition, it was announced that Jackman and fellow actor Daniel Craig had raised $1,549,953 for Broadway Cares/Equity Fights AIDS from 6 weeks of curtain appeals at their hit Broadway drama, A Steady Rain. 98 Jackman continued his support of Broadway Cares in 2011, raising nearly $1 million during his run of Hugh Jackman, Back on Broadway. 99. Jackman also narrated the 2008 documentary about global warming, The Burning Season. 100 He is also a World Vision Ambassador and participated in the Climate Week NYC 101 ceremony on September 21, 2009. 102 103. Jackman launched the Laughing Man Coffee Company in 2011. He founded 2 cafes in Lower Manhattan, and also sold the coffee online, before it also became a brand for Keurig. Jackman founded the company after a trip to Ethiopia in 2009 for World Vision, where he met a fair trade coffee farmer named Tukale. All profits from Laughing Man Coffee go to the Laughing Man Foundation, which supports educational programs, community development, and social entrepreneurs around the world. 104 105. Personal life. Jackman married Deborah Lee Furness on April 11, 1996, at St. John's in Turok, Victoria, a suburb of Melbourne. 106 They met on the set of Australian TV show Corelli. 107 Jackman personally designed an engagement ring for Furness, and their wedding rings bore the Sanskrit inscription Om Paramar Mainamar, translated as We dedicate our union to a greater source. 107 Furness had 2 miscarriages 107 after which she and Jackman adopted 2 children. 108 109 110 Jackman and his family live in New York City. In September 2023, the couple announced that they had separated. 111 112 113 Furness filed for divorce in May 2025, and it was finalized a month later. 114 As of 2025, he is in a relationship with the Music Man co-star Sutton Foster. 115. Jackman was raised Christian, attending multiple revivals during his childhood. In a 2015 interview, he identified as Christian 116 but says his version of faith differs from his father's. He takes his religion very seriously and would prefer I go to church. We've had discussions about our separate beliefs. I just find the evangelical church too, well, restrictive. 117. He meditates daily and incorporates teachings from the spiritually eclectic school of practical philosophy. 16. In November 2013, Jackman announced he had basal cell carcinoma removed from his nose. 118 He had a second carcinoma removed from his nose in May 2014, telling Associated Press that he expects to have future recurrences. 119 This resulted in Jackman attending the various worldwide premieres of X-Men, Days of Future Past with a bandage on his nose and urging his Instagram followers to wear sunscreen. 120 In April 2023, Jackman shared in a social media update that his biopsy results had all returned negative. He had tests taken as a precaution after his doctor observed symptoms that, according to the doctor, could be or could not be basal cell carcinomas. Jackman has undergone multiple procedures to remove skin cancer. He has continued to stress the significance of wearing high SPF sunscreen regardless of the season. 121. On March 18, 2015, Jackman revealed that he had to cancel stage performances in Turkey because he had a left vocal cord hemorrhage. 122 123. A Portrait of Jackman and Furnace by Paul Newton was a finalist in the 2022 Archibald Prize. 124. Other interests. In high school, Jackman played rugby union and cricket, took part in high jumping and was on the swimming team. 11. He enjoys basketball and kayaking. 125. He has expressed an interest in football, committing his support to Norwich City FC. 126. In the United States, Jackman supports the Philadelphia Union of Major League Soccer, attending a match at PPL Park in June 2010. 127. Jackman supports the Port Adelaide Football Club in the Australian Football League and once gave the team a pep talk prior to a showdown clash. 128. He is also a longtime fan and supporter of the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, a National Rugby League (NRL) club based on Sydney's northern beaches. 129. He sang the Australian national anthem at the 1999 NRL Grand Final. 130. Jackman also guest starred on September 19, 2011 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw, assisting Zack Ryder in a win over WWE United States Champion Dolph Ziggler by punching the champion in the jaw whilst the referee was not looking. 131. 132. Jackman plays the guitar, piano, and violin. 133. 134. He also does yoga. 135. And has been a member of the School of Practical Philosophy since 1992. 136. Jackman has been a practitioner of transcendental meditation since the age of 20. He said, "Nothing has ever opened my eyes like transcendental meditation has. It makes me calm and happy, and, well, it gives me some peace and quiet in what's a pretty chaotic life." He now helps the David Lynch Foundation to bring meditation to everyone from PTSD sufferers to inner city kids. 137. 138. Jackman has been the face of several high-profile brands. He is a global ambassador for Mont Blanc. 139. He is also the brand ambassador of R.M. Williams since March 2019. 140. Acting credits and accolades. Main articles: Hugh Jackman filmography and discography and list of awards and nominations received by Hugh Jackman. This section of a biography of a living person does not include any references or sources. Please help by adding reliable sources. Contentious material about living persons that is unsourced or poorly sourced must be removed immediately, especially if potentially libelous or harmful. August 2024, learn how and when to remove this message. Jackman is prominent on both screen and stage and has received numerous accolades for his work. These include an Emmy Award, a Grammy Award, 2 Tony Awards, 1 honorary, and a Golden Globe Award, in addition to nominations for an Academy Award and a BAFTA Film Award. In 2001, Jackman's performance in the romantic fantasy film Kate and Leopold earned him a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. His portrayal of Peter Allen in the Broadway production of The Boy from Oz won him the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical at the 58th Tony Awards in 2004. His hosting of the ceremony won him the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Individual Performance in a Variety or Music Program the year after. Jackman's portrayal of Jean Valjean in the 2012 film adaptation of Les Miserables won him the Golden Globe and earned him nominations for the Academy Award, BAFTA, Critics' Choice, and SAG Award for Best Actor, as well as nominations for the Critics' Choice and SAG Award for Best Ensemble Cast. He received his 3rd Golden Globe nomination for portraying P.T. Barnum in the musical biopic The Greatest Showman, 2017. The soundtrack of the film won him the Grammy Award for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media in 2019. Jackman received his 4th Golden Globe nomination, this time for Best Actor in a Drama, for his role in the 2022 film The Sun. Jackman received the Special Tony Award in 2012 and was nominated again for the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical in 2022 for his role in The Music Man. Additionally, He has also received nominations for the IACTA Award for Best Actor for his roles in Erskineville Kings, 1999, and The Prestige, 2006, as well as a nomination for the IACTA International Award for Best Actor for his role in Les Miserables. Among his achievements, Jackman is one of 5 Australians nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor. He is also one of few artists to receive nominations for all 4 major American Entertainment Awards, EGOT. Additionally, having won a competitive Emmy, Grammy, and Tony, Jackman is just an Oscar away from achieving both the Triple Crown of Acting and EGOT. Henry Dutoit, born March 3, 1984, known professionally as Yolandi Visser, stylist as Yenolandi $6 2 is a South African singer, rapper, and songwriter. She is one of 2 vocalists in the alternative hip-hop group Die Antwoord, along with Watkin Tudor-Jones. Visser appeared in the 2015 Neill Blomkamp film Chappie. 3. Early life. Henry Dutoit was born on March 3, 1984 in Port Alfred, South Africa. 4. She was adopted by clergyman Reverend Ben Dutoit, who worked as the Director of Communications for the Dutch Reformed Church in South Africa in 2012, and his wife, and had an adoptive older brother, Leon, d. 2015. 5-6 Growing up, she has said she felt like she did not fit in or belong anywhere, and describes herself as a little punk who frequently got into fistfights, and listened to the music of Nirvana, PJ Harvey, 9 Inch Nails, Cypress Hill, Eminem, Marilyn Manson, and Aphex Twin. 4-7 At the age of 16, Dutoit was sent to Pretoria to attend Die Hoërskool Menlo Park, a boarding school which was 9 hours away from her family's home. Dutoit said that she blossomed among other creative and artistic-minded people while there. 4. Dutoit does not know anything about her biological parents, besides the fact that her mother was classified as white, and questioned her ethnicity after a portrait artist specializing in identifying genetic history told her she has a facial structure similar to coloreds. Visser initially thought she was white, but speculated that because she was born during apartheid, that her father may have been black, and that her mother had been forced to give her up for adoption, as sexual relations between different racial groups were illegal in 1984. Career. The Constructus Corporation. Main article, The Constructus Corporation. Dutoit was asked by Watkin Tudor-Jones, aka Ninja, to lend vocals for his project The Constructus Corporation. 4. She was credited as Annika the Snuffling. 8. The band released their debut and only album The Ziggurat in 2003. 9. MaxNormal.tv. Main article, MaxNormal.tv. Dutoit was a member of the South African corporate hip-hop group MaxNormal.tv, in which she played the role of Max Normal's personal assistant. In MaxNormal.tv, she went by the stage name Yolandi Visser. In the song Tick Tick Tick, Dutoit's fictional backstory is detailed. The song claims that she was born into poverty in a large family, and eventually ran away out of boredom and loneliness. In option A, she meets a drug dealer, and eventually begins working for him, transporting drugs in exchange for food and money. She becomes addicted to meth, and regrets her choices. In option B, she ignores the drug dealer when he tried to talk to her, and instead begins working at a cafe, and rents a room there. She then is offered to join MaxNormal.tv after watching a rap show outside the cafe. 10. The group released their debut and only album Good Morning South Africa in 2008. 11. A DVD featuring 13 skits, music videos, and short films was released in the same year, titled Go Amorg Zwide Africa. 12. Die Antwoord. Main article, Die Antwoord. Dutoit is currently a member of the South African rap-rave group Die Antwoord. The group was formed by Dutoit, her then partner Tudor-Jones, and producer Hightech 5000, formerly referred to as DJ Hightech and God. They have since added a second producer Lil 2 Hood. 13. Die Antwoord is part of the South African counterculture movement known as ZEF. For the band, Du Toit goes by the stage name Yenolandi $6 ER. She styled her hair into a bleach blonde mullet at the start of the band, which was originally done to have an itch. She has said cutting her hair felt like a birth, and a statement of outsider and Zepp pride. 4. The band released their debut album SOS in 2009. It was made freely available online and attracted international attention for their music video Enter the Ninja. They briefly signed with Interscope Records, and left after pressure from the label to be more generic. Du Toit explained that Interscope kept pushing us to be more generic in order to make more money. If you try to make songs that other people like, your band will always be shit. You always gotta do what you like. If it connects, it's a miracle, but it happened with Die Antwoord. 14. They formed their own independent label, Zepp Records, and released their second album Tension through it. 15. They have since released 3 other albums, Donker Mag in 2014-16, Mount Ninja and De Nice Time Kid in 2016, and House of Zepp in 2020. 17. As well as this, Du Toit played a self-styled role as Yenolandi $6 ER in the 2015 Neill Blomkamp film Chappie. 3. Personal life. Du Toit has a daughter named 16, B 2005, with Watkin Tudor Jones. 18. Du Toit and Tudor Jones also adopted or fostered 3 children. 19. In 2019, a video from 2012 surfaced, showing Tudor Jones and Visser fighting and hurling homophobic slurs against Andy Butler, founder of the American dance project Hercules and Love Affair. 20. Tudor Jones claimed that the person who filmed the video edited it to make it seem like they were in the wrong. Anderson Hayes Cooper, born June 3, 1967, is an American broadcast journalist and political commentator who anchors the CNN news broadcast show Anderson Cooper 360 Degrees. In addition to his duties at CNN, Cooper serves as a correspondent for 60 Minutes, produced by CBS News. After graduating from Yale University with a Bachelor of Arts in 1989, he began traveling the world, shooting footage of war-torn regions for Channel 1 News. Cooper was hired by ABC News as a correspondent in 1995, but he soon took more jobs throughout the network, working for a short time as a co-anchor, reality game show host, and fill-in morning talk show host. In 2001, Cooper joined CNN, where he was given his own show, Anderson Cooper 360 Degrees. He has remained the show's host since. He developed a reputation for his on-the-ground reporting of breaking news events, with his coverage of Hurricane Katrina causing his popularity to sharply increase. For his coverage of the 2010 Haiti earthquake, Cooper received the National Order of Honor and Merit, the highest honor granted by the Haitian government. From September 2011 to May 2013, he also served as the host of his own syndicated television daytime talk show, Anderson Live. Cooper has won 18 Emmy Awards and 2 Peabody Awards, as well as an Edward Murrow Award from the Overseas Press Club in 2011. A member of the Vanderbilt family, he came out as gay in 2012, becoming the most prominent gay journalist on American television. 2. In 2016, Cooper became the first LGBT person to moderate a presidential debate, and he has received several GLAAD Media Awards. Early life and education. Cooper was born in Manhattan, New York City, the younger son of writer Wyatt Emery Cooper and artist Gloria Vanderbilt. His maternal grandparents were millionaire equestrian Reginald Claypool Vanderbilt of the Vanderbilt family and socialite Gloria Morgan Vanderbilt, and Reginald's patrilineal great-grandfather was business magnate Cornelius Vanderbilt, who founded the prominent Vanderbilt shipping and railroad fortune. 3. He has 2 older half-brothers, Leopold Stanislaw Stan Stokowski, b. 1950, and Christopher Stokowski, b. 1952, from Gloria's 10-year marriage to conductor Leopold Stokowski. 4. In 2014, Cooper appeared in Henry Louis Gates Jr.'s Finding Your Roots, where he learned of an ancestor, Burwell Boykin, who was a slave owner from the southern United States. 5. 6. Cooper's media experience began early. As a baby, he was photographed by Diane Arbus for Harper's Bazaar. 7-8 At the age of 3, Cooper was a guest on The Tonight Show on September 17, 1970, appearing with his mother. Citation needed. At the age of 9, he appeared on To Tell the Truth as an imposter. From age 10 to 13, Cooper modeled with Ford models for Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, and Macy's. 9. Wyatt experienced a series of heart attacks while undergoing open-heart surgery, and died January 5, 1978, at the age of 50. Cooper considers his father's book Families to be sort of a guide on how he would have wanted me to live my life and the choices he would have wanted me to make. And so I feel very connected to him. 9. When Cooper was 21, his older brother, Carter Vanderbilt Cooper, died by suicide on July 22, 1988, at age 23, by jumping from the 14th floor terrace of Vanderbilt's New York City penthouse apartment. Gloria Vanderbilt later wrote about her son's death in the book A Mother's Story, in which she expressed her belief that the suicide was caused by a psychotic episode induced by an allergy to the anti-asthma prescription drug salbutamol. Carter's suicide sparked Anderson's interest in journalism. 9. Loss is a theme that I think a lot about, and it's something in my work that I dwell on. I think when you experience any kind of loss, especially the kind I did, you have questions about survival. Why do some people thrive in situations that others can't tolerate? Would I be able to survive and get on in the world on my own? Cooper attended the Dalton School, a private co-educational day school on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. At age 17, after graduating from Dalton a semester early, Cooper traveled around Africa for several months on a survival trip. He contracted malaria on the trip and was hospitalized in Kenya. Describing the experience, Cooper wrote, "Africa was a place to forget and be forgotten in." 9, 10, 11. Cooper attended Yale University, where he resided in Trumbull College and was a coxswain on the lightweight rowing team. He was inducted into the Manuscript Society and majored in political science, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in 1989. 12. Career. Early career. During college, Cooper spent 2 summers as an intern at the Central Intelligence Agency while studying political science. 13. He pursued journalism with no formal journalistic education. 14. 13. He is a self-proclaimed news junkie since he was in utero. 15. Channel 1. After Cooper graduated from Yale, he tried to gain entry-level employment with ABC answering telephones, but was unsuccessful. Finding it hard to get his foot in the door of on-air reporting, Cooper decided to enlist the help of a friend in making a fake press pass. At the time, Cooper was working as a fact-checker for the small news agency Channel 1, which produces a youth-oriented news program that is broadcast to many junior high and high schools in the United States. 16. Cooper then entered Myanmar on his own with his forged press pass and met with students fighting the Burmese government. 15. After reporting from Myanmar, Cooper lived in Vietnam for a year to study the Vietnamese language at the University of Hanoi. Persuading Channel 1 to allow him to bring a Hi-8 camera with him, Cooper began filming and assembling reports of Vietnamese life and culture that aired on Channel 1. In 1992, he filmed stories from Somalia, Bosnia, and Rwanda. Citation needed. After having been on such assignments for a couple of years, Cooper realized in 1994 that he had slowly become desensitized to the violence he was witnessing around him. The horrors of the Rwandan genocide became trivial. I would see a dozen bodies and think, you know, it's a dozen, it's not so bad. 10. One particular incident, however, snapped him out of it. 10. On the side of the road, Cooper came across 5 bodies that had been in the sun for several days. The skin of a woman's hand was peeling off like a glove. Revealing macabre fascination, Cooper whipped out his disposable camera and took a close-up photograph for his personal album. As he did, someone took a photo of him. Later that person showed Cooper the photo, saying, "You need to take a look at what you were doing." And that's when I realized I've got to stop. I've got to report on some state fairs or a beauty pageant or something, to just, like, remind myself of some perspective. ABC. In 1995, Cooper became a correspondent for ABC News, eventually rising to the position of co-anchor on its overnight World News Now program on September 21, 1999. In 2000, he switched career paths, taking a job as the host of ABC's reality show The Mole 15. My last year at ABC, I was working overnights anchoring this newscast, then during the day at 20/20ths. So I was sleeping in 2 or 4 hour shifts, and I was really tired and wanted a change. I wanted to clear my head and get out of news a little bit, and I was interested in reality TV and it was interesting. Cooper was also a fill-in co-host for Regis Philbin on Live with Regis and Kelly in 2007 when Philbin underwent triple bypass heart surgery. 17 as of 2019, he still periodically serves as guest co-host on Live when one of the two hosts cannot go into work. Citation needed. CNN. Anderson Cooper covering the Trump/Kim summit in Singapore, 2018. Cooper left The Mole after its second season to return to broadcast news. In 2001, he joined CNN, commenting, "2 seasons was enough, and 9/11 happened, and I thought I needed to be getting back to news." 15. His first position at CNN was to anchor alongside Paula Zahn on American Morning. In 2002, he became CNN's weekend primetime anchor. Since 2002, he has hosted CNN's New Year's Eve special from Times Square. Citation needed. Anderson Cooper 360 degrees. On September 8, 2003, Cooper became the anchor of Anderson Cooper 360 degrees on CNN. Describing his philosophy as an anchor, he has said 15. "I think the notion of traditional anchor is fading away, the all-knowing, all-seeing person who speaks from on high. I don't think the audience really buys that anymore. As a viewer, I know I don't buy it. I think you have to be yourself, and you have to be real and you have to admit what you don't know, and talk about what you do know, and talk about what you don't know as long as you say you don't know it. I tend to relate more to people on television who are just themselves, for good or for bad, than I do to someone who I believe is putting on some sort of persona. The anchorman on The Simpsons is a reasonable facsimile of some anchors who have that problem." In 2005, Cooper covered the tsunami damage in Sri Lanka, the Cedar Revolution in Beirut, Lebanon, the death of Pope John Paul II, and the royal wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles. In August 2005, he covered the Niger famine from Maradi. Citation needed. Cooper covering a 2007 protest of the government response to Hurricane Katrina. In 2005, during CNN coverage of the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, he confronted Sen. Mary Landrieu, Sen. Trent Lott, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson about their perception of the government response. As Cooper said later in an interview with New York Magazine, "Yeah, I would prefer not to be emotional and I would prefer not to get upset, but it's hard not to when you're surrounded by brave people who are suffering and in need." 9. A contributor to Broadcasting and Cable magazine wrote, "In its aftermath, Hurricane Katrina served to usher in a new breed of emo journalism, skyrocketing CNN's Anderson Cooper to superstardom as CNN's golden boy and a darling of the media circles because of his impassioned coverage of the storm." 18. In September 2005, the format of CNN's Newsnight was changed from 60 to 120 minutes to cover the unusually violent hurricane season. To help distribute some of the increased workload, Cooper was temporarily added as co-anchor to Aaron Brown. This arrangement was reported to have been made permanent the same month by the president of CNN's U.S. operations, Jonathan Klein, who has called Cooper the anchor person of the future. 19. Following the addition of Cooper, the ratings for Newsnight increased significantly. Klein remarked that Cooper's name has been on the tip of everyone's tongue. 20. To further capitalize on this, Klein announced a major programming shakeup on November 2, 2005. Cooper's 360 Degrees program would be expanded to 2 hours and shifted into the 10 p.m. Eastern Time slot formerly held by Newsnight, with the third hour of Wolf Blitzer's The Situation Room filling in Cooper's former 7 p.m. Eastern Time slot. With no options left for him to host shows, Aaron Brown left CNN, ostensibly having mutually agreed with Jonathan Klein on the matter. 21. Cooper at the inauguration of President Obama in Washington, D.C., 2009. In early 2007, Cooper signed a multi-year deal with CNN that would allow him to continue as a contributor to 60 Minutes, as well as doubling his salary from $2 million annually to a reported $4 million. 22. The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper. On April 16, 2023, CNN launched a new Sunday primetime series, The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper. 23. CNN Heroes, an all-star tribute. In 2007, he began hosting CNN Heroes, an all-star tribute, a show about extraordinary deeds by ordinary people. Citation needed. Planet in Peril documentary. In October 2007, Cooper began hosting the documentary Planet in Peril with Sanjay Gupta and Jeff Corwin on CNN. In 2008, Cooper, Gupta, and Lisa Ling from National Geographic Explorer teamed up for a sequel, Planet in Peril, Battle Lines, which premiered in December 2008. 24-25. Syndicated talk show, Anderson Live. In September 2010, Warner Brothers and Telepictures, both corporate siblings of CNN, announced that Cooper had signed an agreement to host a nationally syndicated talk show. The journalist Brian Stelter, at the time employed by the New York Times, and now by CNN, reported on Twitter that the new Warner Brothers daytime talk show would be named Anderson, now titled Anderson Live. 26 non-primary source needed. The show premiered on September 12, 2011. 27 And as part of negotiations over the talk show deal, Cooper signed a new multi-year contract with CNN to continue as the host of Anderson Cooper 360 Degrees. 28-29 On October 29, 2012, it was announced that Anderson Live would end at the conclusion of its second season. The show, slightly renamed after Season 1 and revamped with a variety of co-hosts, failed to achieve the ratings distributor Warner Brothers hoped for. The final Anderson Live aired on May 30, 2013. Citation needed. 2016 presidential debates. Along with Martha Raddatz, Cooper moderated the second presidential election debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. 30 This made him the first LGBT person to moderate a presidential debate in the general election. 31. New Year's Eve. In 2017, Cooper's close friend, Andy Cohen, joined Cooper in succeeding Kathy Griffin as co-host of CNN's New Year's Eve coverage. 32-33 They again co-hosted CNN's New Year's Eve for 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022-34, 2023-35 and 2025. 36-37. 60 Minutes. Cooper at the 71st Annual Peabody Awards, Astoria Hotel, May 21, 2012. Cooper has been a correspondent for the CBS News program 60 Minutes since 2007, while concurrently serving as a CNN anchor and correspondent. Citation needed. Other work. AC2. Andy Cohen and Cooper announced that they would be going on a national tour to perform their conversational stage show AC2 beginning in March 2015. 38-39 The tour opened in Boston, followed by Miami Beach, Chicago, and Atlanta. 39 The idea for the show came about after Cooper interviewed Cohen about his then latest book, The Andy Cohen Diaries, at an event at the 92nd Street Y in New York City. 40-41 Since then, the two-man show has continued to tour, reaching more than 50 cities as of October 2018. 42. Broadway. Cooper was the narrator for the 2011 Broadway revival of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, directed by Rob Ashford and starring Daniel Radcliffe. 43. Writings. A freelance writer, Cooper has authored a variety of articles that have appeared in many other outlets, including Details magazine. 44. In May 2006, Cooper published a memoir for HarperCollins, Dispatches from the Edge, detailing his life and work in Sri Lanka, Africa, Iraq, and Louisiana over the previous year. Some of the book's proceeds are donated to charity. 45. The book topped the New York Times bestseller list on June 18, 2006. 46. In 2017, Cooper and his mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, co-authored The Rainbow Comes and Goes, A Mother and Son on Life, Love, and Loss. Compiled from a series of emails, the memoir recounts their shared past, and Vanderbilt's tumultuous childhood. Cooper said his goal in writing the book and correspondence was to leave nothing left unsaid between the pair. 47. It landed on multiple bestseller lists the year of its publication. 48. Jeopardy! From April 19 to 30, 2021, Cooper served as a guest host on Jeopardy! Following the death of Alex Trebek. 49. Podcast, All There Is. Cooper recording a podcast episode with U.S. President Joe Biden in 2023. In 2022, Cooper launched a deeply personal podcast exploring grief and loss. On the show, he interviews other notable people on their experiences with grief. Guests have included TV host Stephen Colbert, musician Laurie Anderson and comedian Molly Shannon. 50. The inspiration for the podcast came from his own life. Reflecting on the loss of his father when he was 10, the loss of his brother to suicide at 21, and the more recent loss of his mother Gloria Vanderbilt, he said, "What has struck me is the degree to which I had not dealt with this stuff at all." He shared that he wanted to explore this universal human experience. "I just felt like, why am I so alone in this? This is something we all go through. And this idea gave me great strength, that I'm on a road that has been traveled by everybody, in one form or another. Why every time somebody is going down this road should it feel like the first time?" 51. Cooper won a 2023 Webby Award for Best Series for All There Is. His 5-word acceptance speech was, "All there is love." 52. Personal life. Cooper in 2018. As of 2016, Cooper was not registered to any political party. 53. In 2008, Cooper told Oprah Winfrey he had dyslexia as a child. 54. Cooper played Dungeons and Dragons with his brother as a child. He later said that it gave him and his brother an escape from the grief of their father's death. 55. Cooper is gay. As of 2012, he was, according to the New York Times, the most prominent openly gay journalist on American television. 56. For years, Cooper avoided discussing his private life in interviews. On July 2, 2012, however, he gave Andrew Sullivan permission to publish an email that stated, in part 57, "I've begun to consider whether the unintended outcomes of maintaining my privacy outweigh personal and professional principle. It's become clear to me that by remaining silent on certain aspects of my personal life for so long, I have given some the mistaken impression that I am trying to hide something that makes me uncomfortable, ashamed, or even afraid. This is distressing because it is simply not true. The fact is, I'm gay, always have been, always will be, and I couldn't be any more happy, comfortable with myself, and proud." In 2014, Apple CEO Tim Cook sought Cooper's advice before making the decision to publicly come out as gay. 58. In 2014, Cooper and his long-term partner at the time, Benjamin Mazzani, purchased Rye House, a historic estate in Connecticut. 59. In March 2018, Cooper confirmed that he and Mazzani had split up. 60. Cooper was friends with Anthony Bourdain, celebrity chef and host of the CNN series Parts Unknown. After Bourdain died by suicide on June 8, 2018, Cooper paid tribute to him in a CNN special program, Remembering Anthony Bourdain. 61-62 Cooper also paid tribute to Bourdain on the Thanksgiving 2020 episode of Anderson Cooper Full Circle, saying that he was proud to call Anthony Bourdain a friend, and adding, "He is so missed by so many." 63-64. In 2021, Cooper and co-author Catherine Howe published Vanderbilt, The Rise and Fall of an American Dynasty, a history of the Vanderbilt family going back to his Vanderbilt ancestors who came to New Amsterdam in the 17th century. 65. Children. On April 30, 2020, Cooper announced the birth of his son Wyatt Morgan Cooper by a surrogate on April 27. "On Monday I became a father. I've never said that out loud and it astonishes me. I have a son," he said at the end of a CNN town hall on his show, Anderson Cooper 360 Degrees. He also went on to make an announcement on Instagram, stating that Wyatt Morgan Cooper was born on Monday weighing 7 pounds 2 ounces 3.2 kilograms. 66-67. Though Cooper and Benjamin Mazzani are no longer romantically involved, the pair co-parent the child and Mazzani was present in the delivery room for Wyatt's birth. Wyatt is named after Cooper's late father, Wyatt Cooper, and his middle name is derived from the Morgan side of his family, being the maiden name of his maternal grandmother Gloria Morgan Vanderbilt. 68. On February 10, 2022, Cooper announced at the beginning of his show on CNN that he had just become a father for a second time to a son named Sebastian Luke Mazzani Cooper. Mazzani is in the process of adopting Cooper's son Wyatt, after which Wyatt's surname will become Mazzani Cooper. 69 may be outdated as of November 2024. Awards. Cooper accepting a Peabody Award in 2012 for CNN's coverage of the Arab Spring. Cooper helped lead CNN's Peabody Award-winning coverage of Hurricane Katrina, and the network's Alfred I. DuPont, Columbia University Award-winning coverage of the 2004 tsunami. He has won 18 Emmy Awards, including 2 for his coverage of the earthquake in Haiti, and an Edward R. Murrow Award. Chappie, stylized as Chappie, is a 2015 American dystopian science fiction action film directed by Neill Blomkamp and written by Blomkamp and Terry Tatchell. It stars Sharlto Copley, Dev Patel, Hugh Jackman, Ninja, Yolandi Visser, Jose Pablo Cantillo, and Sigourney Weaver. The film, set and shot in Johannesburg, is about an artificial general intelligence law enforcement robot captured and taught by gangsters, who nickname it Chappie. Chappie premiered in New York City on March 4, 2015, and was released in U.S. cinemas on March 6, 2015. The film grossed $102 million worldwide against a $49 million budget, and received mixed reviews from critics. Plot. A skyrocketing crime rate leads the dystopian city of Johannesburg, South Africa to buy a squadron of Scout state-of-the-art armor-plated attack robots from weapons manufacturer Tetraval. These autonomous androids were developed by British scientist Dion Wilson and largely supplant the overwhelmed human police force. A competing project within Tetraval is the remote-controlled heavy weapons platform Moose, developed by Australian soldier-turned-engineer Vincent Moore. Dion is praised for Tetraval's success, but Vincent grows envious when the police will not give his project equal attention. At home, Dion creates a prototype artificial intelligence that mimics a human mind, feeling emotions, and having opinions, but Tetraval CEO Michelle Bradley refuses to permit testing the AI on a police robot. Undeterred, he takes a recently damaged one before it is destroyed, putting it in his van, along with the guard key needed to update its software. Heading home with the damaged robot, Dion is kidnapped by gang members Ninja, Yolandi, and America. When he explains Tetraval does not have remote controls for the police robots, they order him to reprogram it instead. Dion installs the new software into the damaged robot, which then responds with childlike trepidation upon powering up. Dion and Yolandi calm it, teach it words, and name it Chappie. Despite Dion wanting to stay with Chappie, Ninja forces him out of their hideout. Ninja's gang only has a few days to pay a debt of 20 million rand to Hippo. Yolandi sees Chappie as a child and wants to mother him, but Ninja grows impatient with his development due to both the impending deadline for the debt and Chappie's irreplaceable battery running out, giving him days to live. Ninja leaves Chappie in a dangerous neighborhood to fend for himself to train him to become a gangster. After being wounded by thugs, he is followed by Vincent, who plans to deactivate all Tetraval scouts except for Moose. Vincent successfully extracts the guard key for his own use, but the traumatized Chappie escapes and returns to the hideout. Yolandi scolds Ninja for this mistreatment, but he earns Chappie's forgiveness by training him in martial arts and weapon handling. Ninja and America trick Chappie into stealing cars, and lie about getting the money to replace his dying body. At Tetraval, Vincent uses the guard key to upload a virus, thus sabotaging and disabling all scouts including Chappie. Johannesburg's criminals immediately run rampant in the streets and Dion brings Chappie to the Tetraval factory to fix him. After being restarted, Chappie notices a helmet used to control Moose. At the hideout, he re-engineers it to transfer his consciousness into a computer, so he can change bodies when his current one dies. Ninja's gang uses Chappie to rob an armored car, which is caught on the news, prompting Tetraval to pursue him. When Chappie learns that Ninja's plan to acquire the body is a lie, he prepares to kill Ninja for betrayal. However, Dion arrives to warn them that Bradley has ordered that Chappie be destroyed. At that moment, the Moose robot, controlled remotely by Vincent, is launched to assassinate Dion and Chappie at the hideout, simultaneously as Hippo arrives to collect his debt. America and Hippo are killed in the ensuing battle while Dion is mortally wounded. When Ninja is about to be killed, Yolandi sacrifices herself to save him, and Chappie destroys Moose with a bomb. Enraged by Yolandi's death, Chappie drives Dion to the factory, storms into an office, and fiercely beats Vincent close to death. He then transfers the dying Dion's consciousness into a spare robot through the modified Moose helmet. In return, the now robotic Dion wirelessly transfers Chappie's consciousness into one of the nearby disabled scouts. Dion and Chappie go into hiding as the police discontinue their contract with Tetraval, while it is implied that Vincent, assuming he survived, now faces serious criminal charges. While burning memorabilia of Yolandi, the grieving Ninja finds a box containing a doll copy of her and a flash drive marked Mommy's Consciousness Test Backup, which contains a copy of Yolandi's consciousness that Chappie took while testing the device on her. Chappie hacks into Tetraval's manufacturing facility, builds a robot resembling Yolandi, and uploads the flash drive's contents. Cast: Sharlto Copley as Chappie, a robot. Copley acted out the scenes in front of the camera, interacting with the rest of the cast and lending his voice. Contrary to a 2014 story by Entertainment Weekly, 5 visual effects supervisor Chris Harvey explained that the production did not use motion capture, and Copley's performance was used only as a reference by the animators who replaced him with the CGI for Chappie. 6. Copley also makes a cameo at the end as a police officer. Deb Patel as Dion Wilson. 5. A programmer at Tetraval. Hugh Jackman. 7. As Vincent Moore, a former soldier turned Tetraval engineer. Ninja as Ninja. 5. A gang leader and metafictional version of himself from the South African Zefrap rave group Die Antwoord. Yolandi Visser as Yolandi. 5. A gang member and metafictional version of herself from the South African Zefrap rave group Die Antwoord. Jose Pablo Cantillo as America, a gang member. Sigourney Weaver. 8. As Michelle Bradley, the CEO of Tetraval. Brandon Ort as Hippo, a powerful gangster to whom Ninja's group owes money. Anderson Cooper as himself. Eugene Wayangwe Kumbanyu as King. Production: Chappie is Blomkamp's third feature-length film as director. He wrote the screenplay along with his wife Terry Tatchell, who also co-wrote District 9. It was unofficially based on Blomkamp's 2004 short film Tetraval. 9. They wrote Chappie in 2 weeks, while Blomkamp was doing Elysium. 10. Filming began at the end of October 2013 in Johannesburg, South Africa. 11. 12. One scene was shot at the Pate building. 13. Filming was completed in February 2014. 14. Reshooting for the film took place in British Columbia, Canada in April 2014. 15. The film was shot with Red Epic cameras, using Panavision anamorphic primes. 16. Richard Muller said, Panavision jumped in with 4 brand new PVM1741A OLED monitors, as well as a PVM2541A for more critical evaluation work in the DIT band. Jacques MacDonald from NLE managed to get film light on board by adding a prototype of the flip. It was technically a 4-camera show, not counting the 6 GoPros, 2 Sony X3S, flip, Canon 5D on a drone, and the Sony HDC 1500 in the Cineflex, which sometimes all played at the same time. The flip would handle at most 2 cameras, so we had to supplement that using Pomfret Live Grade running through several Blackmagic HD links. 17. Lighting was handled by Kino Flow Celebs. 13. The visual effects company was Image Engine, located in Vancouver. 16. The name of the weapons company in Chappie, Tetraval, is a reference to Blomkamp's 2003 short film of the same name, which centers on a police robot in Johannesburg with a similar design to Chappie. Blomkamp has said that Chappie is basically based on Tetraval. 18. Blomkamp also employed a robot with a similar design in his 2005 short Tempet, and both Tempet and his 2006 short/advertisement Yellow deal with a thinking and learning robot which tries to assimilate into society. Blomkamp has cited the Appleseed character Briareos as an influence on the design of Chappie. 18. City Press/News24 reported that 6 of the cast and crew of the film, confirmed under the condition of anonymity that first-time actor Watkin Ninja Jones made life on set hell during filming. 1920. Music. Main article, Chappie, sound.